Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. Have I ever let you down with the amazing podcast? Never. It's always been amazing. I never cease to be amazed, even though I know what's coming. 10 referrals, 55 outgoing referrals, which is what we're going to talk about with today's guest, doesn't surprise me. But it's amazing. It's still amazing. And yet it is one of those where that is pretty typical for the people who go through our Event Mastery class. And today we're going to dive deep into a fiesta with friends. Can we take a smaller event with friends, people we know, and turn that into 10 referrals and 55 outgoing referrals to our sponsor partners? The answer, you already know, is yes, we can. And today, we're going to dive deep into exactly how you can do the same thing. And you can actually get my help with it coming up in June and July. We are doing our Event Mastery in June and July. We are starting on June 9th. And here's the thing. It's normally $999, basically $1,000 to go through the course. You can now take Event Mastery class as part of Referral Mastery Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, for $99 a month. It's a 2-month class. You do the math. For less than $200, you can take Event Mastery, and maybe you'll get 10 referrals, and maybe you'll get 55 outgoing referrals. But I have to tell you, it doesn't matter because referrals are guaranteed. You are guaranteed to get a referral, at least one referral, doing Event Mastery. What is one referral worth to you? I bet it's more than $200. Go to referralmasteryacademy.com, referralmasteryacademy.com. So I hope you can make that. And then I've got to give a shout out to Melody Travers. She is a realtor out of Palm Coast, Florida. She wrote to us, "Your podcast is amazing." There's that word again. Like, I wonder if I seed that at all and people think it just because I say it every time. I'm not sure. But thank you for being such an incredible trainer and host. Your professionalism, insight, and energy make such a difference. I truly appreciate the way you motivate and challenge me to grow each and every week. Melody Travers, thank you so much. And for your referrals to realtors in Palm Coast, Florida, you need to look up Melody Travers. She is awesome. And once again, quickly, our Event Mastery class starts on June 9th. You can register at Referral Mastery Academy for $99 a month. You should totally do that. Speaking of things that you should totally do, you should totally take your lead generation and your marketing and your prospecting and make it fun. That's what you should totally do. And you need to follow the model that our guest implemented recently to get 10 referrals and 55 outgoing referrals to his sponsor partners who helped him out with that event. Today's guest is Alan Smith with Team Encompass out of the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Alan is not only a successful realtor, but he's also a DJ. Let's freaking go. And former board member and programs chair for, get this, his local ILEA chapter, the International Live Events Association. So creating experiences and bringing people together is literally part of who he is. After listening to Referrals Podcast for several months, Alan jumped into RMA and then enrolled in Event Mastery. Even though he joined the class a little later than everyone else, he took action quickly and created a Cinco de Mayo event called Fiesta with Friends. Love it. And let's just say the results definitely got our attention. What I love about Alan's approach is this wasn't just a party. It was intentional. It was a special event. Sponsors were involved, local businesses showed up, connections were made, referrals were flowing, and he created an incredible experience while keeping his actual out-of-pocket cost unbelievably low. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how he did it, what made the event work, and why this episode may inspire a lot more people listening to finally start doing events in their business and for their business. Without further ado, let's welcome Alan Smith to Referrals Podcast.
Thank you, Michael, and it's an honor to be on here. My hope is that I can help share some nuggets or things that happen in my event that help other people, other listeners here, and inspire them. So I listened to Referrals Podcast for about 3 months, and the best that I remember it, I found it, I think. I was listening to some podcasts in the morning as I'm getting ready. I'm doing some internet advertising, by the way, right? And I'm thinking, when I look at my spreadsheet, it's SOI and SOI referrals, sphere of influence. And I think I literally searched for referrals or real estate referrals, and I think that's how I found it. Listened to it. It took me about 3 months. And then somewhere in there, I was just sold and I jumped in. What I didn't know is there's these programs that are going on and they have a start, and I just jumped in. So I signed up on a Monday. Monday night, I think there was something going on the next day on Tuesday. I put it on my calendar. I put it on for an hour, not knowing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I jumped in. But I learned that people were already 2 weeks ahead of me. So, I appreciate your advice for pivoting from event mastery to VIP event mastery, so I could compress the time frame and get it done in the same amount of time. You had some wisdom about when the event should be and when it should not be. That I was sold. Let's do the playbook.
Yeah, so we just don't want to mess with the end of May, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to mess with Memorial Day and all that. And man, Cinco de Mayo being on a Tuesday this year, we could have done Taco Tuesday on Cinco de Mayo. We could do Cuatro de Mayo, Tres de Mayo, Dos de Mayo, Uno de Mayo. We had all kinds of opportunity that weekend. And then, Mother's Day was the next weekend. So we just, and you nailed it with Fiesta with Friends. That's one of my favorite titles of any of the events that people did during that time.
Thank you.
It's everything, right? It just says everything. And obviously the results say everything, but before I kind of jump in and let's go through like the class and the steps of an event, so are you still a DJ? Do you still do some DJing?
I do. It's a little bit more of a passion project these days. I've done it since I was a teenager. I've been through a journey of doing lots of different aspects of it. And when I was a member of ILEA, that was during the recession. I had some extra time on my hand. We started another DJ company with a partner. And we really dove in and did some special events. It was, and at the time I was specializing in video DJing. We could bring custom content on the screen, logos, sponsors. We could do all kinds of special things. And the events that we were a part of were other people doing it on these high levels. So now that journey has changed. My focus is more on real estate. And I've gone back to, like a lot of guys my age and girls, I'm going back to spinning records. About 85% of what I do is spinning records, and it's more artistic side versus service DJ. All that other stuff is more service DJ, is more, you play what they want, you take requests, you play line dances, you do all those things. Now I'm more soul, funk, disco, house, and just let me present to you some good music and turn you on to some stuff.
So more creative, right?
It is.
Kind of like
more
anything
artistic.
is that you implement and then you innovate. Right. So it's implement first and then innovate. And so, all right, quick question.
Yeah.
Which is the better song? Don't Stop Believing or Living on a Prayer?
I was scared you were going to ask this. And you know what I appreciate? I appreciate that people love those songs
Yeah.
and are inspired by them. And I have played those songs and they have paid some of my bills and I appreciate all that. But I'm gonna have to go with neither. Don't hate me. Don't hate me.
Okay. All right. So that's what's been great. So it is literally 50-50. Like
Uh-huh.
it is literally 50-50
Yeah.
as to people are like, oh, it's got to be Don't Stop Believing, and they start singing it, or Living on a Prayer and they start singing it. And then we heard Jonathan's, answer recently where he went
I,
full
yeah.
manifestation, like, one
Yeah.
is about hope, one is about faith. And I love that. All right.
Give me a
So
Rare Groove record, B-side. I'm good.
All right. So I like that. All right. And so now you were a program chair for ILEA, right?
Yeah.
Which is the International Live Events Association.
Yeah.
What was your duty? What did you do as a program chair?
So we have monthly events, which were our members. It's this local chapter, in the Raleigh area, and they're all event people. So it's the
Mhm.
planners, it's the florists, it's the DJs, photographers, that kind of thing. So it's a little scary. I'm a DJ. I'm not a planner.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well,
what
you
I
can't say that anymore,
true, true,
right?
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
you've got the playbook and you ran the play. You are an event planner. So you
That's
are a
true.
host. So,
Yes. So what I did with that was I was very fortunate that there was a planner that was very seasoned that stayed on the team. We had a few people that on the team, and then I built the team. And so my idea was that I want one, even if they weren't a team member, I wanted one event planner lead on my team per month because they just their certifications they know how many inches a chair needs between the two chairs. I just don't, I
mhm.
don't know all that stuff. And we're
Yeah,
throwing events for these pros. So I was lucky to that's the one thing is building the team. I like doing that. That's what we did with this event is with the sponsors is we built a team and
that's
they're your
right.
volunteers. So it's the same.
Yeah, it's even better than volunteers. They paid you to volunteer.
Yeah.
It's a win-win-win. All right. And so um that what an interesting background. So I mean, I'm glad I didn't know your background when I was teaching the class. I think I would have been a lot more nervous. It would have been like this guy knows everything about
No,
events. Like
no.
let's go down that path. So all right. So let's jump right in
Okay.
to where you were, right? You jumped in and you had to catch up with planning.
Yeah.
So, you joined Event Mastery a little later than everybody else. And I remember saying, "Hey, listen, I need you to focus on a smaller group of people, your VIPs." And so
Mhm.
talk to us about what you did to start that planning process. And really I forced you to go down the who path versus the why path. The why is already kind of established. The why is fun plus referrals essentially.
Mm.
But it was like, all right, so you really need to focus on the who. So talk about that process in your planning process.
Okay. Sounds a little bit like that Good to Great book, right? The Who first. But
That's right. That's right.
so you mean in terms of like the sponsors or the people that I'm inviting or all
Yeah,
of
the
it?
people you're inviting. Yeah, your
Yeah.
invite list or your guest list. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just went to a notepad. I just started generating names. I never even made it over to Excel spreadsheet because of the pace that I was going to, and I just started generating names. And they're not everybody, and I think this is part of your playbook. Not everybody is a real estate client. Some are just some people can be champions, right, without having done business with you. Maybe they're
That's
just
right.
in their house and they haven't sold. And so I just started looking at it like that. That's the friends, right? It's their clients and friends and
Hmm.
champions. And I just started going down the list. And then I went to the pre-event survey. And I think to fully answer your question, maybe to pick where did the pace come in is, all right, so we are leading, even though we're doing the pre-event survey. And as leaders, we do need to make decisions and a lot, really just a lot of micro decisions. So I'm doing a combination of getting the feedback from the pre-event survey, but I'm also giving it some direction so I can keep the pace that I want. So, I mean, when you call somebody, well, they called me per your playbook, right?
Yep.
Do you have 2 minutes? Call me, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so, I let them know that I'm planning an event. And, one of my first questions is, would you, do you like tacos? Guess what percentage? Yes, I get on that.
At least 90.
It's 100.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
hundred.
yeah. It's at least 90. It's definitely going to be close.
Yeah. So, I did, take him down a certain path while having a mix of, I really do genuinely want to know what you want, so,
Well, let's play it. Let's role play it. Are you okay with that? It's just like you did several of these calls, right?
yeah. It
So
seems
do you
like a
mind
year ago now, but yeah.
do you mind going through the conversation like you did with me? Like I'm on your guest list. Would
Okay.
you mind doing that?
Yeah, I know it scares the bejesus out of me, but let's do
Okay, well that's why we're here. And I think it's going to add a ton of value to the people that are listening because I've done it from my
Yeah.
end, but I love it when other people show their diversity and how they put it in play. And I don't want to skip over what you said in the very beginning is that, hey, listen, they're calling me. So
hmm
what did you find? What's the difference between you calling them and them calling you?
Oh, well, I mean, I already know they have time to talk. They called me, right? So they're already there. They're present. It's not like I'm calling them thinking that I'm interrupting them, asking if they have time, asking me if I'm interrupting. Some people, when you call them, we've all done this too. They'll portray that they have a second, and then something will happen 2 seconds later, and your conversation gets cut in half. So
That's right.
they're ready to go. They're ready to chat. They're curious about what's going on.
It 100% overcomes call reluctance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 100%. We don't have call reluctance when we're answering the phone. Like
Yeah.
I need to trademark that. I mean, we don't have call reluctance when we're answering the phone. That's the truth. We know they want to talk, and so we get it. So I'm going to call you just like, and I'm someone that you want to go to your event, right? So
Yeah.
we'll just tackle it that way. So
Okay.
so ring ring, I'm calling you.
Hey, Michael, thanks for calling me.
Hey, Alan, I've got a couple of minutes here. I saw that you texted me and I just wanted to give you a quick shout. How are things going, man?
It's great, and it only take 2 minutes. I'm putting together a little event, a party, just some of my favorite friends, and just wanted to ask you a few questions about just to get your input. Do you like tacos?
Oh, yeah. Who
Yeah,
doesn't like tacos? Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
Maybe margaritas, maybe or
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
They
good,
go with tacos very well.
good.
Margaritas are great.
Yeah. So, are you available May 2nd or May 5th in at late afternoon, evening?
May 2nd. What day of that? What day of the week is
I
that?
think that's a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to be much better on a Saturday than I would be any other day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for sure.
Okay, cool. And is 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 better?
Ooh, tacos and margaritas. It's probably going to be this. Oh man, that's a tough one because I eat around six. So either one, honestly, 4 to 6 or 6 to 8. Probably if I had to choose, I'd say 6 to 8.
Okay, cool. And I really want to have a charitable component too. Do you have any favorite charities that you support?
Oh my gosh, I love the big brothers and big sisters right now. That's a really something I've really gotten into right now.
Cool.
I could talk charities with you all week, but that's one that I know they need journals right now in a
hmm
big way, and so I've already got them some journals, and I know that's a big deal for them. So.
Hey, do you have a contact over there?
I actually do. I can actually connect you. Absolutely.
Perfect, perfect, awesome. We're at 2 minutes. I'll let you know how things play out, and I'll send you an invitation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alan. I'm honored that you would want my input.
You
Thank you.
bet. Love it.
So click. All right. So what what do you get from that conversation?
Direction.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make all the dang decisions. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, and I'm sure you're the same way. As a realtor, as an entrepreneur, we're making like 100 decisions a day, even to the
Mm,
point of of what to wear. I mean, it is a decision for an entrepreneur as to what
Mhm.
to wear.
Yeah.
Do we wear the logoed polo? Do we wear the name badge and a coat? Do we wear a button down with no name badge because we don't want to be so, whatever. And it's one of those where, so the cool thing is we don't have to make the decisions. They're helping us make the decisions. By the way, what day was your event on? What was the date? And what time did you do it?
So we actually did May 5th, Tuesday. So we doubled
Okay.
up Taco
Yep.
Tuesday, Cinco
Taco
de Mayo.
Tuesday for
Yeah.
tacos. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people love that it was doubled up like that. You know,
Yeah.
they totally got into that. So we did 6 to 8.
Yep.
People really did, being on a Tuesday, they wanted time to get off work and kind
Yeah.
of get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Settle in a little bit.
Yeah.
So love that. And so what's great about that is, all right, you didn't pick my day or my date. But here's the thing. You call me back or text me or whatever it is and say, hey, listen, we had a lot of people choose the 5th. It's Tuesday. I hope you can still make it. And guess what? You did say 6 to 8, and we are doing it 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So, I hope you can make that time frame because it was the time frame. It's still tacos and margaritas. So, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Hopefully we can have you come. And listen, I'm in. Like I'm in. Like you told me I was right. But I wasn't right. I actually got some of it wrong, but you tell me the part where I got it right. And it's like, okay, you took my input. You
Mhm.
remembered. There's
Mhm.
something about remembering my input or remembering my advice that makes somebody really feel seen. Well,
Mm.
not feel, I mean, they are seen, they
Right.
are heard. But it really helps them have that feeling of being seen and heard. And you really are treating them like VIPs, you
Agreed.
know? Yeah. All right. So you kind of it helped doing your planning. Where did you end up doing it?
Well, we ended up at a cocktail lounge called the Haymaker.
Okay.
I had met them recently because they had me DJ there a couple of times.
There we go.
But I didn't start off with that. So I'm actually, I know we mentioned Raleigh. I'm in the greater Raleigh area. I'm in a suburb. It's on the northeast side called Roseville. Last census, we're only about 10,000 people. We're probably about 12, 13, at least 1,000 right now. I'm a member of the chamber, and some of these sponsors are in the chamber. So I really had it was a challenge. Do I have it in Raleigh where I do have clients, right? Downtown Raleigh is where the Haymaker is, where we ended up. But my first stop was at a chamber members. They have a courtyard in the back of the place, a really nice courtyard. I had a backup spot that was about 30 feet behind that. That's an indoor spot in case of rain. But there was a journey where that particular person said they were available. And then about 2 or 3 days later, said they were not available.
Mm.
Oh,
Hmm.
but we can put you in touch with the other person that owns the building, who has a couple of businesses there, who I don't really have a deep relationship with. She did. They said, okay, we can do this. We'll need to move one of our events, but we'll do it. And then they came back the next day to say, actually, we won't.
Wow.
So then I went to this indoor spot that was right behind that. It's also a chamber member, and that lady was fully on board. It was going to be a kind of a sponsor, if you will. But I was bringing in a mobile bartender who is one of the sponsors listed. And there's something neat that's happened with this later if we have time to talk about it. But she's a friend, and a lot of the ladies that were going to be there, she's started this business about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they're really fans of her, friends with her, and fans of her drink. And I was bringing her in. I had not figured out how we were going to do if they wanted a second or third drink. We knew we were going to do the first drink free. And so we were putting that together, and I thought at some point I'll need to figure that out so it complies with the laws, right?
Hmm.
Once I dug into that, I learned that we can't even do mixed drinks free for the first one if it's above 16% alcohol level. So either
Huh.
I got to get a permit, which it
Hmm.
can be done, but it's hard and it's
Yeah.
complex,
Yeah.
or we got to switch venues. So that's
Okay.
where I needed to lead and make a decision. It was just much, much easier to go to the cocktail lounge from there. So there's this journey that
Yeah.
needed some quick decisions on. So once we land at the Haymaker, we're able to get that vendor in there behind the bar for a few minutes, get some pro photographs of her. She's still a sponsor. She's happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And here's the thing that's really cool. I mean, one thing is I would coach you on is just saying, hey, listen, that's also a great question for your guest list. Is just say, hey, where should I have it? And
Hmm.
you really took that on yourself.
Hmm.
And sometimes we know too much. I fall into this
Yeah.
too, is
Yeah.
that I do know a lot about events. And so sometimes I hesitate to ask my guest list about certain things because it's like I know better. And
Yeah.
then I start asking, and then I was like, oh my God, that's the greatest idea ever. Why do I ever think I know everything? Like it's
Yeah.
always this, they have a better idea than I do. And so that's, so that could have maybe curtailed some of that. But I love
Mhm.
that you ended up at the Haymaker, and it was a big success. And one of your sponsors, you could have got in the endless sponsor loop where the sponsor wasn't happy because they're not going to be able. They're a mobile cocktail service. They're
Yeah.
not going to be able to do their job. They're not going to be able to do what and yet you figured out a way to make them happy, make your guests happy, and make it a win-win-win for everybody. So I absolutely love that. All right.
Mhm.
So what did you do on the invitation side to help create excitement and get the right people into the room?
Well, on the actual digital invitation that went out, that was done by one of the sponsors, who's my marketing guy. And so it's a really nice looking digital piece. You might have seen that.
Yeah. And just so you
But
know, on that, you're during this, just for the listener's sake,
yeah,
you're going to hear Alan refer to different pieces, like an invitation, and he did a flow map, and he did some other things like that. A really cool door prize entry form. We will have a download link in the comment section for you to go and get those downloads completely for free. You can thank Alan by referring him in Raleigh, North Carolina to any real estate. And you can thank us just by joining the GenGen, joingengen.com. So just want to get that out there. So we're taking the notes for you, and we're going to get inundated with people who say, can I see blank? And the answer is yes, right? Always. So
yeah,
yeah, tell us about the invitation a little bit and how you used it.
yeah. And thanks for the, I think it's is it the Gen Gen Facebook group? We got our inspiration. I pulled inspirational flyers from that.
Yeah.
So definitely make these available to folks too to do the same thing. And then I gave those to him, and I talked with him a little bit about what the event is. And I think that's one thing that I see in DJ and in events. You have that consistent advertising, so everything looks the same branding. There's an event branding, right? And
That's right. That's right.
that's gonna flow through to all the different pieces. Even the the charity component, the charities, yeah, there you go, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
It's was the same, was another piece too, that what we had from the charity was very basic looking, because the charities didn't really have great resources, right?
Right.
So I sent that to Marcus, and he redid it, and put it in our branding. So they had those
Yeah.
different touch points, like you advised. Actually, one that you may not know about that I hadn't mentioned to you too was, so we ended up in this downtown location. This is the main drag between the Capitol and the Performing Arts Center. It's the main road there. It's about 5 blocks long. So we're dealing with parking, street parking if you're lucky, parking decks over here, parking decks over there. But not only that, the Haymaker is on like a little alley off of the main road. The first time I went there, I had trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went down with, I got one of these little Osmo Pocket 3s, that's got the two mics on it. The guy that runs the venue, Glenn, was great. He jumped in the video too. He knows more about the parking because it's his place. And we made a video of how where do you park, and the different ways that you can get in. So that was another piece that we sent out.
And that is so smart because, something that I do cover in event mastery that a lot of people don't think of is the approach. we call it the approach to the event. Your event really starts with the invitation. And then the day of, it really starts when they leave the house. It really does. So make it
Mm-hmm.
really simple and really easy for them to attend the event. So give them directions, give them warnings if you have to, and be like you're describing it to an eighth grader. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, you've got to go down this alley and you're going to go, 300 feet, and that's where you're going to turn left into a parking garage. The more literal we can be with that, and that just shows so much professionalism and being super proactive, and it also shows that you care about the guest experience. So I
Yes.
absolutely love all of that you did with that. And what else did you do with the invitation sign? How did you do invitations? How did you invite people?
As far as what kind of communication method to
Yeah,
send it out? Yeah,
yeah.
so it was text, and
Hmm.
I think I heard a tip on it was maybe one of the podcasts or somewhere on your system that somebody mentioned the Reach app,
Yep.
and so I love that, especially for I know you're a fan of sending them one by one if it's a certain number, a manageable number, but the thought of the hour before reminder, when we're
Hmm.
in the middle of setup and everything,
Yeah.
I thought that's going to be clutch for
Hmm.
that, and it was.
How many did you have end up having attend?
It was 32.
Okay.
Well, non-sponsors, and I got to tell you, some of my sponsors are clients though. So
Yeah.
it's a mixed number.
That's the best type of sponsor. That
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's yeah, they're sponsor volunteers and partners. And that all right. So we've talked a lot about sponsors, and it sounds like sponsors were a real key to this, to this event
Yeah.
and the success that you had.
Yeah.
And you did say that you wanted to note something about the bartender. Did you already note it, and did you already complete that story, or was there something above and beyond on that?
No, we mentioned it, but
Okay.
it's basically where and I'll expand on it. Because you mentioned like that's something where she was all of a sudden out of the event when we changed the location. And I also, went back to her as I learned the rules to have a conversation with her to say, hey, this is something you may want to give your clients a heads up on. It's because we don't know. And
Right.
so it was a situation where it was a friend and I'm having that conversation, a hard conversation, right?
Hmm.
And but then let me build her back up the best I can because I do care about her and I think her business is great and she's passionate about it. So how can I do that? Um, Glenn at the Haymaker, who just bought this bar like 3 months ago, right?
Mm.
He's a bartender background, but not just any bartender. He's written a book on bartending. He's also
Wow.
got a specialty in special events. I didn't even know this until close to our event. The place he used to work does special events. They do bourbon
Mm.
tastings and just all, and he had a insight into special events that was unusual. You won't find around every corner. And he is just he wants this business to do well and he loves people and taking care of everybody. So I asked Glenn if Gene could step behind the bar and gave him a little bit of the history. And he said yes. He said, well, does she want to bring in her mixes? See, that's what makes somebody's drinks, their own mixes,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, Glenn, I would never ask you
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, but she can,
Wow.
as long as she just doesn't bring in her own alcohol. So
Yeah.
Glenn's propping her up. He's like, I just need to meet with her ahead of time, and
Yeah.
he's willing to do that. So, I mean, all these vendors, I could tell you stories about all these people. They're
Yeah.
so good. And I think the one nugget there is build relationships with these folks and don't wait till you need them, to build
Mhm.
these relationships before you ask them to get out there and meet people and the who. You mentioned it before, the who.
That's right. And
Yeah.
and so you had nine businesses sponsor this.
Yeah.
So what were the different businesses? Because I'm sure I'll be asked, and it's
Yeah.
always what it it never ceases to surprise me when we, like you just said, a mobile bartender. I'm guaranteeing that out of 1,540 people who took Event Mastery in April and May,
Mhm.
nobody had a mobile bartender as a sponsor except you. That would be my guess. So everybody listening to this right now needs to write down mobile bartender as a potential sponsor. So who
Yeah.
else were sponsors for your event?
Yeah, yeah. And we had different variety, some paying, some in
Yeah.
kind, and some door prize drawings.
Yeah.
So on the mortgage lender, homeowners or insurance agent, say, I know him from homeowners insurance, but they do all kinds of insurance. Financial planner, the tacos. The tacos are
Mm.
sponsored. That was an
Wait,
in-kind
what?
sponsor. Yes, yes. They are clients of mine, and when I finish here, I'm gonna go show them another home.
That's awesome.
They've bought multiple homes. They invest in homes. So I was amazed that they did that in kind. That was huge. And
So you're saying free tacos?
free tacos and
There's
chips.
only one
Yeah,
thing I like better
yeah.
than tacos. It's
It's
free
free tacos.
tacos. Free tacos.
Yeah, and oh, I wish we had time. There's stories about their business too. They just really are into their craft, and the tacos that I had at that party, and I waited till the end to taste them. I wish I'd have tasted them even earlier. They were better than the tacos I had from them a year and a half ago. Their son has jumped in and just really got passionate about this business, and it's incredible. And I can't help when we talk about the sponsors too, the sponsors meeting each other, the
That's right.
connections from
That's
that.
right.
The marketing guy is now working with the taco people, and they're not just talk. They have a pizza business, and they're getting ready to get into ice cream, and
That's
so
perfect for our summer event. You know that, right? You know,
yes,
yeah.
for
So
pizza
June
and
and
ice
July,
creams.
you're already
Yeah,
set. You've already
yeah,
got your vendor like
yeah,
ready to go. So
yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, other vendors, let's see. Well, we talked about the mobile bartender.
Yeah, I've got
Um,
7 of them. I've got lender, insurance agent, bartender, marketing guy,
the
tacos,
the
and
venue.
financial planner.
Oh,
Venue.
photographer, fellow
Oh yeah.
fellow chamber member. It's a newer relationship. He's also doing the photos on my listings, and a lot of the photos for the chamber as well. He was great.
Hmm.
And then there is a coffee vendor and a
Love it.
DJ. Yeah, and we got the marketing guy we've already talked about. Yeah,
Yeah. Love
yeah,
it. What a
yeah,
variety.
yeah.
What a great variety. Great job on getting the photographer and the videography taken care of. That's something that we always have to remind people of several times. So let's transition into the charity, right?
Mhm.
You tied the event into giving back through peanut butter jelly and cash donations for a charity. You know, I think the first thing is how did you end up picking the charity?
Well, so charity was one that I did had no when I was doing the pre-event survey, I really just didn't know. I wanted to see what everybody said, and it was such a huge variety. There was no clear winner. And then when I thought I was having it here in Roseville, there's a tie-in to the Northeast Backpack Buddies. What they do, this is the Northeast section, Backpack Buddies is all over our area. They deal with, they help solve food insecurities for children. So they load up their backpacks on a Friday. A lot of times during the week, they've got the free or reduced meals at school,
Hmm.
but when they go home,
Mm.
there's hardship. And so they load up their backpack on Fridays. So they collect donations here at a location at the Masonic Lodge, and then they have drivers that go out to the different schools that they have relationships with. So I was already familiar with them. I've done packing events with them with the chamber and that kind of thing. It's a good group of people. I know some people on the board. And in your playbook, it talks about bringing something to the event. So having a
Hmm.
charity that where you can do that, I thought, well, that can be a good fit because they need food donations. But when you go to their website, the challenge is there's 40 things you can choose from, and I really just wanted to simplify it a little bit, make it easy, right? The easier it is, the more they're going to get.
That's
So,
right.
so I messaged them let them know what I was up to, and I asked them if they could just help narrow it down to 2 or 3 things. And they said, sure, we've got a special project going on right now that our team board is leading, and we want peanut butter and jelly. And I thought, well, that's perfect because it's the 2 items.
Easy to bring,
Yeah, easy to bring. Yeah.
inexpensive to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very,
A-
very, and very
and
identifiable. Yeah.
and some people brought both. So they're getting more.
Yeah. 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 That's
Yeah.
right.
The
That's
cash
right.
donation that you mentioned, I didn't, and that's one thing that I learned that um so if you run into what I run into, which I'll tell you about, like make sure you have that option ready. Make sure you
Mhm.
have their website, their QR code, something ready at the event if that question comes up. I didn't think about that ahead of time. I didn't anticipate it. I got a text that I saw but didn't have a chance to respond to in the minutes as the event was getting ready to start or as it was starting from a good friend. We've worked on charity projects before together, and he had even joked during the invitation. He's like, "We'll just show up. I'll show up with a pallet of stuff.
Mhm.
We'll load them
Mhm.
up. Let's go." He texted to say that he couldn't make it.
Mhm.
Something came up, life got in the way. Do they have, his question was, do they have a place where I can do a cash to, and I wasn't able to get back from him, but in my mind, I thought, we can do this tomorrow. That's not a problem,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Um, in the meantime, he finds it. He takes the initiative to go find it and does a $200 donation.
Yeah, that's awesome. He did buy a pallet. He
Yeah.
did buy a pallet. That and all right. So what effect does that have on the overall feel of the event to have a charity involved? Do you think what was the effect of now that gentleman, obviously it was a bigger effect on him, but for the general feel of the event, what effect do you think it has?
For the attendees, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think it makes them feel good. You know, it goes back into that experience that you described starts when they leave the house and throughout the whole event. So you might even say it starts before that, even when they go to the grocery store to get the items.
That's right. That's right. And all right, so what's the effect for you? Like you adding a
Mm,
charity, and like you said, you were kind of a blank slate starting, even
right.
though you're a super charitable person. Like, so how did it feel for you to, instead of just having an event, you had it was tacos for a cause.
Yeah.
You had this charitable aspect to it. What difference do you think that made for you?
It's well, it makes me feel good too, of course.
Yeah.
But and it feels like you're helping others. But I have to share as well what's happened with the charity since then. So not only did I have the drop off of the stuff, and they did a picture and put it on their social media and that kind of thing, but a board member um, lives in my neighborhood that I didn't know, and she posted on the Facebook group, "Does anybody? We're doing a volunteer appreciation event for that charity. Does
Mm.
anybody know a DJ, a photographer, and several things and that can help?" And so I posted, "I can help." We've interfaced. I referenced something on her website. She's a marketing person. She said, "I'm embarrassed about our website." I said, "Do you need help?" I know a guy. and and then also, so yeah, earlier today we had a walk through a site trip with the couple of the board members. So I'm going to provide not DJ but mini AV, and I'm able to take that experience for the site trip that we talked about earlier to help shape their event and really kind of consult with them about these are the things you need to think about where the person's standing. Do you
Hmm.
need a mic stand? They want to throw some projector on the wall. We'll do it over here, not here,
Hmm.
because these are
That's
the
right.
pros and cons of
To
it. So
triangulate the attractions, right?
so this I guess the answer to the question is this has had even though I was familiar with the charity and had helped them a year or two ago, this has sparked a whole new relationship with them.
Hmm. That's awesome. And that's how it works. That's how it works. And not only that, but with your marketing person, with your photographer, with your DJ partners and the people that
Mhm.
know you from DJ. I mean, like it just I and here's the thing, your circle it's already sniffing events.
Hmm.
The you doing an event makes all the sense in the world for your sphere of influence. They're all like, well, of course he does events, you
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah,
right? Right. And except you weren't. Now you are. And I mean, now it just everybody's like, this is like all the it just like click, click, click. It all fits into place and works really well.
yeah.
So on the confirmations, I know you did the 24-hour on the day of,
Mhm.
and then I want to go right to the event itself. So,
Okay.
what was the atmosphere like, and did you stay in one place all night, or did you
Mhm.
intentionally move around connecting people? So talk to me about that.
All right, so let's come in from the road. We did the video, but the one thing we didn't talk about is I did the Wayfair signs. And I think that was one of your suggestions or ideas. And I went ahead and invested in, because we're going to be doing these now, right? I went ahead and
There
invested
you
in a
go.
nice tall A-frames.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing guy designed the inserts for those. I can reuse those for open houses and other things too.
Yep.
So that was their first experience as they come through the lobby. I wish I could have expanded it a little bit in the space. It's pretty small, but I positioned the door prizes on a table in there so they can see those as they're registering for them. But that's door prize drawing spot one. We're going to move those later, right before the announcements that are at the other end, that we're going to take the door prizes over there. I had some Rubbermaid tubs with where they could put the peanut butter and jelly. So I tried to bring more than's needed of there to make sure I had enough to haul out at the end of the night. Um, the sponsor volunteers were working it. My lender guy, I've seen him in events for years. He does a lot of realtor events. He's a second generation lender. His mom was involved with Women's Council as a realtor, I've seen him at events, and he was my kind of A1 guy to our prize registration. Some of the others were helping and relieving him a little bit too, but he was great. I let them know, as you suggested, to make sure they got that form filled out. We had a miss, by the way, on the form. I don't know. I know you've seen the form. I don't know if you caught it.
Mm-hmm.
We were so focused on the questions for the form
Mm-hmm.
and the format of those.
So you
Where
didn't
did
get a name.
where the name,
You didn't get a name.
name and phone number.
Oh
So
yeah.
we
Yep.
had to write those in on the side. So
Yeah. Good thing you caught it.
when you see my
Yeah.
assets, make sure you add that in.
So, do you think it had an effect on the people that they were filling out the door prize entry form and also saw the door prizes? Do you think seeing the door prizes has an effect on them?
I think so. But I wasn't there. I wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
by design,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's a good question. I should ask my folks that were working up there. It's a good question.
Well,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So, you did you stay in one place or did you move around or what did you
So
end up
I
doing?
so the flow map had me at the other end of the building, which was intentional as you prescribe it. Also, the back wall was this really nice wall that would be good for pictures and video and that kind of thing. But what happened is I did have some moments where I wasn't talking to somebody or I was able to break away, and I noticed, and there were a few moments where some people weren't interacting.
Mm-hmm.
And, I saw one person where her husband had walked away. I know she's a creative. And I saw another couple where the wife is an art teacher at a
Hmm.
local technical school. So I went and grabbed, I was like, hey, Jess, I got somebody I want you to meet. And I took her over to Kelly and I was like, hey, y'all are both creatives. I got to bounce over here, but you chat.
Mm-hmm. That's
So I
awesome.
did some of that. So a little bit of bouncing around there, but I tried to be aware of what you mentioned, not to do too much of bouncing around.
Yeah, love that. All right. And all right, so take us to what happened right before the door prizes when you realized that something was missing.
Yeah, so we had a timeline for the event. I had the DJ announce that we were doing the door prizes in 15 minutes, so people wouldn't leave. I had my clipboard of notes to make sure I don't forget any of the sponsors. I had the mic stand because I needed like three hands during all this, and we're ready to go. Right? It's showtime. And these things right here, these readers
Oh
were not in my
no.
pocket.
Oh no. Oh no.
And
Oh no.
it's that moment where you go, okay, things are gonna happen. You gotta be
Yeah.
cool, calm, and collected. But oh no, I can't do this
Can't
without
even
the
see.
readers.
Yeah. I
And
won't be
and
able to
it
read their name.
and if if you have readers, you have two or three spares,
Sets of them.
hopefully wherever you go. But they're in the car like 50, 60 feet away. The lender sees what's going on. He's like, do you need me to go to the car? And I happen to turn around, find them on the floor
Oh
and not
no.
broken,
Oh, thank goodness.
saved.
Wow. Wow.
But I will say there's a tip that not only bring extras of those kind of things, what planners do, I've seen it a ton at weddings back in the day, is, and I did this for this event, I just didn't have the glasses. Bring some extra things, tape,
Hmm.
scissors,
Yep.
those the miscellaneous box. Wedding planners will bring emergency sewing thread, that kind of thing.
There you go.
Yep,
Yeah. Great, great nugget there. I love that. And well, it sounds like to me is that you didn't have a handler for this event.
that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah. So maybe it's a handler. And here's the thing that I love is I love that your lender came up to try to help. I freaking
yeah,
love that
yeah.
because that's somebody, so many people just don't notice things.
Yeah.
And then there's these people like I am ultra aware. I know if you're in a crowded restaurant, I know the one that needs help. Even though
Hmm.
I'm eating, I'm not even a waiter or waitress or a
Yeah.
host or even own the bar. But
Yeah.
I know like I have spidey sense on that. And this lender has that sense too.
Hmm.
They're so comfortable within their own skin that
Hmm.
they can be ultra aware of what's going on. I absolutely love that they did that and were willing to help. And that just tells you a lot about that person.
Yeah. And
So,
he was
yep.
my first sponsor. And we talked about we I mentioned to him several sponsorship door prize drawing things that you had mentioned. He was like, "Oh yeah, TV. I've done it before. I'm in."
Yeah. Love it.
So
Love
that's
it.
what he
So you
gave
had a
away.
43-inch TV?
Yeah, it was a big one. Did there, there's a picture. Have you seen the picture of
Ah,
oh yeah. So the the folks that won it drove the longest to get there, Chapel Hill. So it's about good 45 minutes away, if not longer, on Highway 40. And he's got a little convertible.
come
There's
on.
a
And
picture of
they won
him.
the
They
TV.
won the TV, and in the video, I've got a little vent cap video too. And you can kind of hear her saying that, like, I don't know how I'm going to get this home. And they fit it in sticking out of the
Yeah,
car, like half
in the
of it
back
sticking
seat.
out of the car with the top down. Yeah, in the back
Yeah.
seat. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That just tells you how much they want to win it. Is
Yeah.
they're gonna fit it into that car one way or another. All
Yeah.
right, so like, all right, the event happened.
Yeah.
So how many referrals did you get? How many outgoing referrals were there?
Yeah.
And what like would you say it was a success? Would you say this is great? I think I'm going to do it again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Number of referrals, and I think you mentioned at the top too, there were 10 for me and then 55 outgoing. So for the other sponsors and all. I will say I have learned as I'm following up that some of those were couples, so they were
Hmm.
duplicates, and some are kind of what you might call soft referrals and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm thrilled, and even outside of that count. I saw so many connections being made, and some of which I kind of paired up those people. The example I gave earlier was a non-business connection where I was bringing them together, but there were
Hmm.
other business type connections where, two developers and then like a person that does land surveying and utilities, and I put all three of them together for a conversation. They didn't know each other before that event. One of them I mentioned to him ahead of time, hey, I'm going to introduce you to Jason.
Hmm.
And that really goes back to your how to get people there too. Hey, I got
That's
somebody
right.
I'm going to introduce to you.
Have someone strategy
Yeah,
is very, I mean,
yeah,
they show up when maybe they weren't. I mean, between bring a friend and I have someone
yeah,
that Those are
Yeah.
pretty lock solid to get
Yeah.
people there. And it's only through my experience over the years that it's
Yeah.
like, man, how do I get this guy to show up? And
Yeah.
I thought about it and was like, oh, you know what? He really wants to meet developers. And it's like, all right, I've got two developers that are at my event. I'm going to connect this builder to these two developers, and
Hmm.
all three of them showed up, and it was a great connection. I know the builder ended up buying lots from one of the developers, so it turned into a really good connection. So yeah, I absolutely love that. And I do want to address the 10 and 55. And one of the things is, yeah, you get 10 referrals. You don't want all of them to be A plus ready to go right now. I mean, it's just like that would be a flood that we don't necessarily want. But what it does do, even if it's a 10%, like a 10% chance, we want that, because what we're not as worried about the referrals as we are training our sphere to be referral sources. So that person referred
Hmm.
you, and it's like they got used to on a form filling in and putting somebody else's name down. That is a huge skill. Like that is a huge skill. So now we're going to treat that introduction, connection, or referral or soft lead just like we're going to treat any other referral. And all of a sudden they're like, man, if they're all over it like this, then they're getting all my referrals. And that's the beauty of events, is it is a microcosm to our business, is that we're showing how professional we are without, when we do a real estate transaction, it's all behind a veil. It's confidential, it's private, it's fiduciary. It's like we have all the guards that we have to have up.
Hmm.
Whereas with an event, it's open to everybody. Like here's who I really am. I'm charitable, I'm a connector, I'm an influencer, I'm a host. I want to have fun, and I want my people to have fun. And here's the thing, I'm ultra professional. Like you're gonna, and the number one complaint against realtors and lenders, I never heard from my lender again. I never heard from my realtor again. It's communication. And
Hmm.
because of the event, we're master communicators all the way through this. So even though, like the 10 referrals turns into 5 or 6 good ones, it's okay, because we're finding out who will refer us, but we're also training the ones that didn't refer us, that we have this referral economy. Like
Hmm.
they may have known you as a DJ. They might know you from ILEA. They might know you from church. They might know you from a sport. But now they know you as a realtor. They
Hmm.
know you, as someone who wants real estate transactions and real estate referrals. So it wouldn't surprise me if your next event is not even bigger and even better, and the referral quality goes up. They're not going to go to 100%. The referral quality goes up to 70% or whatever it may be, and that's what happens. A lot of people soft refer before they hard refer. It's just how it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the more influential they are, the more wealthy, affluent, connected, influential they are. The first one's going to be like a 520 credit score that you wouldn't lend $5 to. I mean, it's just going to be it's going to be the nephew or whatever.
Right.
It's going to be
Right.
super hard, but treat them like gold, and know that referral source is watching. And then,
Mm.
you're just like, hey, listen, they're not ready yet. We did put them in a program where they can work on their credit and some things. And maybe they'll be ready in another 12 months. And I told them that. And then that person's like, well, you know what? Now that we're on the phone, I've got blank. And it turns into being a $600,000 seller who wants to buy a $1.2 million home. And it's like just follow up diligently. And that leads us to kind of the final thing I want to talk about is follow up. What kind of opportunities, conversations, and relationships have already come out of the event? And you know I mean, we are looking at 2 or 3 weeks after this event, like what's
Yeah.
happened since.
Yeah, so I jumped in on the door prize entry forums and just went to having those follow up conversations, those introductions. Um, the one thing I haven't mentioned during all of this, this has been one of the busiest moments of my career. So
Of course.
yeah, and but I've heard your story and it's inspiring too of how much business you're doing. So I trudge forward. I am not where I want to be on follow up. There's still some things that are undone or
There you
not
go.
done yet that and I so I'll tell you where I'm at,
Yeah.
my the knee slapping thing is it's I want to get to the next event because this was so much fun, and then I want to kind of wrap that up and get to the pre-event survey for the next event. So
That's right.
it matters, right?
That's right.
So referrals have been placed, introductions have been made. There's still some outstanding. The some of the sponsor to sponsor referrals that I mentioned, kind of like the people with the restaurant, the tacos were so good. I was like, what's this pizza like? And
Hmm.
so I took the marketing guy. I was like, hey, let's go over there so you can have a follow-up conversation with Brian. Let's go have lunch. Let's do it when he's there. And then, so we're doing these warm introductions like that, best case scenario, right?
That's right.
The other follow-up that I have not done, so this is a fail on my part so far, but it will be done, is the follow-up survey. And then I'm moments away from finishing I've got a event recap. I'm doing a video which starts with a photo collage, and it's not
Hmm.
just one photo per slide. I'd like to think it's a little more interesting, where like three or four photos come up, and they kind of come in and do things, and it's set to music. Of course, it's Latin,
Hmm.
instrumental song in there, and then I've chopped up, and it goes to the video, the very initial welcome, then it goes to the door prize drawings, but I've really tried to edit it down to be as short as possible. And actually, in my final edit, it'll probably even get a little bit shorter. Um, I'm thinking this has not been something we've talked about. One of the challenges is to send, you can't really send out a big video via text. It's not
Hmm.
going to work because of the size
Yeah, you
of
have
it.
to send
So
a link out.
yeah, so I'll probably put it on an unlisted um, YouTube, so it's
Hmm.
just not out in the world, right? And
Yeah.
then it'll go on to the marketing guy will put it on a web page on one of my pages that might not be connected to the homepage, and then we'll send that out. And then if they by chance want to do other stuff when they're on the website looking at it,
Yeah.
then
That's right.
it'll be there. The one thing that I did talk to the marketing guy recently, and I think will sync with your thoughts on this, we toyed with putting both on there at the same time, and I think we came to a conclusion, maybe you can help answer it, is to not do both because that's two more touches, not just
Are
one
you talking
touch.
about the video and the survey?
Right. Putting
Yeah,
them
so do
two
it
different.
separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you because if you have two calls to action, you have zero calls to action, right? So
Right.
you want them to click on the video, and the video definitely needs to come first, right?
Okay.
And then your video, and honestly, it's going to make your follow-up survey scores go even higher
Mm.
when they see the recap video. So do the recap video, and then we're not too far out when we're recording this. This will come out later, of course, as a podcast. You're
Okay.
not too far out from your event to do the follow-up survey in another week or so.
Okay.
So,
Thank
the
you.
worst thing is a follow-up survey that goes out the next day. It's just too quick.
Right.
You want to do it, a week or two afterwards. Otherwise, it just looks like it was too planned.
Right.
But no, I love that. And yes, it's two different touches, and you want to reinforce the follow-up survey's got to be its own thing with a bunch of arrows pointing to it, you
Hmm.
know. So, and a reason to fill it out. Hey, I'm getting ready to do my next event. Would love your input, that kind of thing, and then go from there. So,
Love it.
love it, love it. All right. So you had tremendous success. There's people that are going to be listening that are you 3 months before you jumped in.
Mm.
Like this is
Mm.
you like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And so they're nervous to host an event because they think it's going to be too expensive or too complicated.
Mm.
What would you say to encourage them?
Well, so two things you mentioned, too expensive and too complicated. Those are things that you can solve, that
Mm,
you really can. And we've talked a lot about that here. But if you're just listening to the Referral Podcast, um, you're getting nuggets spread out. This is great. I love listening to this, but and I still listen to it. But you really got to sign up. Jump in and get the playbook. You need the playbook. You've likely tried to make up your own plays as you've been through your career, unless you just jumped into your career, and that takes time. Forget the money; it takes time, and
Yeah.
that's what's really can be hard. And then you're gonna fail at some of it. You've been doing this how long? 12 years? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So get
Yeah.
the playbook. It's
Yeah.
for, I mean, for the cost of it. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's like anything. It's not the price. It's your time that you need to commit to doing the playbook, whether it's the Zooms or the actual printout or whatever. But it's there for your taking. It's all of that solvable.
Yeah. I love that. And all right. So, what was the total cost of the event? And then
Mm.
what was your total out of pocket expense?
Yeah,
I
so
know you didn't profit on this one. We're going to
that's
profit on
true.
the ice cream event in July.
That's
That's my
true.
goal for you.
Yeah,
But what was the total cost? And this sounds like a pretty big shindig, right? This sounds like a pretty expensive deal.
yeah.
And then what was your total out of pocket?
So the my out of pocket, let's start with that, was
Okay.
$44.29.
Yeah, 40,
That
$44. Yeah.
that's because in the mix of doing everything else, I didn't think in the end I'm going to want to do a nice printout on good paper of
Hmm.
this professionally designed on the door prize entry form and several of the thank you sponsors that I'm putting displaying out. And I have forgotten about that cost. The place I got it printed, they would have been a sponsor. I have a close enough relationship with them, but it wasn't fair for me to stand there the morning of
Yeah.
to go, hey, do
Yeah.
you want to be a last minute sponsor? That's not fair.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me
Yeah.
just pay the 44.29. I also paid for the A-frame for the directionals I mentioned to as an investment for the overall business. The actual design of all that stuff was an in-kind service through the for the marketing guy. So the plastic pieces cost me,
Yeah.
but the actual design of all the stuff didn't. The drinks, so even though we had 32, I think it attended. We had somehow ended up, we were supposed to be buying one drink. So we had 39 drink tickets. So a
Hmm.
couple people may have gotten a couple. I knew at least one person I'd
Yeah.
given to, but Glenn at the Haymaker was was wise enough in the beginning before the event to go, hey, some people could get beers for underpriced. Some people could get mixed drinks for overpriced. He's like, how about we simplify it and make everything $10 a drink? And I said,
There you
sold.
go.
Love it.
Yeah.
So those were all taken care of by some of the sponsors. There was three of those sponsors that kind of split that up. And I just had them pay the venue directly, like you've wisely mentioned before when you're dealing with real estate agent and mortgage lenders
Yeah.
and some of those. Let's
Yep.
stay out of the RESPA stuff.
Yeah. Well, now we're okay because you weren't doing a client event. You were
Yeah.
doing a friends event.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's its own thing. So we don't have to worry about RESPA, thank goodness, but you were like double secure,
Yeah.
double. It's just easier, honestly, than you having to deal with the money. It's just easier if the arrow goes straight from the sponsor to, and they don't think they're paying you. They are,
There's
but they don't
transparency.
think, yeah, yeah,
There's
there's
transparency in what they're
transparency.
paying instead of
That's
me
right.
giving them a
That's
bill.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, this was awesome. Like any final words of wisdom. Some, I mean, you're a guy that has extensive event background, and yet you hesitated to do it until you jumped in. And man, now that you've jumped in, like I just see all the, like your text messages, like I just see all these light bulbs going off for you. And you have a lot of wisdom to share with people on, what should they do? What is the next step? And any final words of wisdom from hosting events or going into going into the summer, what should they do? Like, what are you thinking?
Well, so let's go back to something we talked about at the beginning is about the who in team building. So if I hope that people don't listen to this and go, "Oh, well, he's got this experience," and but I don't have that experience. So build your team,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have to be an event planner or DJ that has event experience, but it can be all these great vendors that help guide you. So I think it really does go back to that who and that team building. That goes a long way.
Man, I love that because that's where we are different than a lot of trainings on trainings on events. They start with the why. And they, and listen, I'm fond of the why. We start some things with why, but we really start with the who. It's like who's on your guest list and who do you really want to have fun with? Who's going to make
Mm,
an event fun just by them attending? And then we work our way there. And you know, what's amazing is fun people tend to also want to volunteer. They want
mm,
to help at tables. They want to stand by the charity table and count up how much we've gotten. They want to, they want to be a handler. They understand that we're going to get trapped sometimes and we're going to need somebody to just kind of gently disengage us. They're ushers, they're greeters, they want to have a role in it. And that helps us too because it's leverage and free leverage and but we're not taking advantage of anybody. Them having a role actually helps them enjoy the experience even more. Instead
mm.
of just standing there wondering what they should do, they have this forced interaction type of role. So you hit it on the head is start with the who and start building your team. Your team doesn't need to be a certified meeting planner. It doesn't need to be a DJ. It needs to be your neighbor behind you who happens to want to help out.
Yeah.
And at an event, this is not rocket science. This is not rocket science. Now, I did write a lot of stuff about the art and science of events, but it's just if you could throw a birthday party, you can throw a referral generating event.
Mhm.
And most of us could throw a birthday party. So I absolutely love this. Alan, I've gotten to know you and you were fantastic at communication with me, with our team during the event because you did have to play catch up and then throughout the whole thing. And your packet is as professional as anything I've seen. Just really well
Oh,
done. It
thank
looks
you.
like you really thought of everything. And man, it just like I can't wait for your next event. I probably am more anticipatory about your next event than you are. I mean, now you get to think about this, Alan. You now get to ask everybody, do you like ice cream? I mean, we thought tacos were popular. Like, I mean, there's this old joke out there is like, don't try to make everybody like you. You're not
Yeah.
ice cream, right? I mean, that's how popular ice cream is. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's all good. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being our
Thank
guest
you.
here today on Referrals Podcast. And it looks like we're gonna have to have you on again in the fall to talk about how your summer event
I'll be
went.
here. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, we are on our road to a million. Like just saying that number sends shivers up the back of my spine. A million downloads. And I just want to thank you, the listeners, for making this happen. And also, please note that his packet will be available for download. We'll give you the link and the way to get there. Also, if you have the opportunity, you like what you heard here today, go to joinGenGen, JoinGenGen.com. Join the generosity generation today and start building your business on love, generosity, and appreciation. We will see you next time on Referrals Podcast.